Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So today we're having a little catch up in this video, chat about a couple of different things that I've not had a chance to sort of tell you about, catch up with. So a bit of a mixed bag really, this video. So we're going to start off, we're going to be talking about Jay Slater and how one ex-detective is still stirring the pot as usual. Then we're going to be talking about Stephan Stearns and his first appearance in court. And now we know when his trials are going to be. We've got some more information about that. And then if we've got time, if we don't have time, I will talk about Sebastian Rogers in a separate video. But, we're going to talk about, the latest. There's no real news about Sebastian Rogers. I've sort of left that case alone because it's turned into a circus. But I'm just going to let you know about some of the latest things that are going on in the circus. That is the people who supposedly care about Sebastian, what's going on there, and the reward has been increased. So we're going to talk about all those three things. So, and here we are on a Tuesday, and we're going to talk about it. So happy Tuesday. So let's chat. I'm going to put on my little video, my intro. Can't find it. Let's chat. So, first thing I want to tell you before I get going is I'm expecting a supermarket delivery. It's bound to come when I'm in the middle of the live. So if I suddenly have to just pop off just to let them in, the dog will bark. It'll probably be chaos right in the middle of the live. But just to let you know that. No rain today, no storm. So hopefully the electricity won't be going on and off like it was last night in the members live. It was one bit of rain in Spain and that's it. The electricity sort of goes to pot. Anyway, we've got no rain today so far, so hopefully we won't have any cut-offs. So I'm going to say hello to everyone first, and then I'm going to get right in to talking about Jay Slater and how supposedly, Jay's parents don't want him being talked about, conspiracy theories, this, that, and the other. But, that doesn't affect Mark Williams Thomas. He'll go on and cause problems and, innuendos. He doesn't care, does he? So we're going to look at his last Instagram post, which he says is an update about Jay Slater. And personally, I think it's just pure clickbait. But anyway, let me say hello to everybody first. Hi, Laurie. Hi, Lily Paulie. Hi, David. Hi, Lorna. Hi, Kelly. Oh, I'll put you to sleep. That'd be easy for me to put you to sleep. If you want to go to sleep. Hi, Angel. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. Yeah, David, I don't know if Sebastian will never be found. Well, who knows? I thought maybe he will turn up somewhere, one way or another, but it doesn't look very promising, does it? Treats, Angel. Yes, I have actually ordered some alcohol because I've not had any alcohol for ages. So, okay. So let's get on to talking about Mr. Mark Williams Thomas. I didn't even mention him or put a photo of him in the thumbnail. I don't like giving him too much attention, really. But sometimes I think it's hygiene. Sometimes I think it is just necessary, don't you, to just let people see what it's like. But people don't. Probably unless they're people like us who we follow true crime more closely and we know about all these different things. Most people don't know, do they? You know, they just think, oh, he's an ex-detective. This is how I used to think of him. Oh, ex-detective, you know, knows what he's talking about, blah, de, blah, de, blah. And then when you look more closely, you see that, you know, same with Peter Folding. It's just actually awful, really, the way that they criticise the police, they criticise social media. What is Mark Williams Thomas if he's not social media, you know? Anyway, we're going to look at what he's got to say. And of course, both he and the great PF, I've been banned since last October. I've been banned from all their Twitter and this, that, and the other. But of course, they don't know I can still see their things. And so, you know, that just makes me suspicious as well. Why ban me? You know, tiny little YouTube channel. What threat can I be to them? But there you go. That's the way they think. Don't like criticism, won't accept, you know, somebody having a different view. Anyway, you make your own minds up about what you think about Mark Williams Twonk. You know, I've got enough. I just don't like what he's doing to. Anyway, let's watch the thing and then you'll understand why it sort of peed me off. Because first of all, he puts it on his Instagram as an update on Jay Slater, and you think, oh, you know, some new information. It's not an update. There is no update. Let's have a look what it's got to say. Let's have a look. So, yeah, he's called, I can't find it, updates at Jay Slater case, which should be on, shouldn't it? Now, some people have been on and left their opinions utter rubbish. Somebody's saying there, you know, other people saying, here's my update, I have no update. So let's listen to his non-update.
Potential witnesses.
How do I get back to the beginning? I don't really like putting the.
So I'm now back on social media. I took a small break, and one of the questions that I got asked lots and lots through direct messaging, because my direct messages are open, was.
Let's see. Maybe if we go back and forward. Oh, that's interesting. That's 2 days ago. He said, I was here very recently for work. Do you recognise it? And they're saying it's Peter Sutcliffe's house. So he's obviously planning some revelations about Peter Sutcliffe. Let's just have a little look at his other.
So plan is to doorstep Nigel Barwell. The reason we're doing that is we want to put to him, obviously, the information that we've got. And I'll put.
We did have a look at that. So he's obviously got something coming about the Yorkshire Ripper for him to put a picture on of Peter Sutcliffe's house. But this is.
So I'm now back on social media. I took a small break, and one of the questions that I got asked lots and lots through direct.
So he took a small break from social media. I can't say that I missed him. Did you? Did you notice? I can't say we missed you, Mark, really. But anyway, took a short break from social media. Probably, you know, I don't know, going off to Peter Sutcliffe's house or whatever.
Messaging, because my direct messages are open, was an update in relation to Jay Slater.
So an update. It's an update in relation to Jay Slater. So we're all like, oh, update again regarding Jay Slater. Because, you know, I mean, I've been trying not to do it. The next video I would was thinking I would probably do on Jay Slater is when the inquest finally happens in the UK. You know, sometimes, like I've shown what Warren has put on his, Jay's dad Warren has put on his TikTok, etc. Because I think, you know, he obviously wants people to see that if he puts it up there. So you hear this, so an update on Jay Slater, we're agog. You know, what is the update? Does Mark always makes out? This is what I don't like. I mean, whatever he does, doesn't do. If he is literate, if the family find him comforting, that's great. But he always leaves these innuendos that he knows something, but he never says what it is. Does he? Can't share it at the moment, you know. And he's in a, what does he say? He's in this prime sort of position. That's what he says in here. I think, you know, he's in a perfect position to know more than we do, us mere mortals, us, you know, proles, us, you know, we don't know anything, only he does, but he can't tell us about it. Just can't tell us about it because it's a secret. Whatever.
I went out, did the investigation, worked very closely with the family, and as a result of that, got a lot of information, but also a lot of information from potential witnesses, people involved.
So he's close in with the family. He keeps saying that. He keeps saying he is. Is he? Maybe he is. He says he's got information, didn't he, from the friends, etc. But of course, none of it was correct. He's responsible for most of the conspiracy theories around Jay Slater because of the things he said about the watch being stolen and the this and the that, and Jay was scared and blah, de, blah, de, blah. He's not provided any evidence for anything that he's said because he can't do that, can't reveal his sources.
People who knew Jay and also from the authorities in a roundabout way. They weren't directly talking to me.
Yeah, from the authorities in a roundabout way. I wasn't directly talking to the authorities. There's no way on God's earth that the Spanish authorities would speak to Mark Williams Thomas. Not a cat in hell's chance. He's got no authority at all. And the Spanish police are not going to talk to him. He wouldn't even speaking to the family much. That is the way the Spanish authorities deal with things. Everything becomes secret till they decide it's time to release it. You know, he's just so full of BS.
But I was in contact with people who were in contact with the authorities.
He was in contact with people who were in contact with the authorities. Well, funny enough, I'm in contact with people who are in contact with the authorities. Probably everybody is, you know, but you can't. What a load of rubbish. And I'll tell you something, those people that he's in contact with who are in contact with the authorities won't tell them anything either. And if they did tell them something and they ended up telling it him, oh my God, that would be the Guardia, etc. They go mad. He's interfering directly in case, you know, it's one thing to talk about a case and to, you know, I always try and present things that come out officially rather than, you know, try not to, you know, make things up. Either the things I say, they're either my opinions about what's been released officially, and I try and stick to that. He just breeds conspiracy, doesn't he? It's deliberate. It's got to be deliberate. Let me just make sure I haven't missed anyone. Hi, Princess. And also, the other thing I want to say, which I shouldn't really say, but I don't know what's happened to his hair. His hair seems to be disappearing. Anyway, that's totally irrelevant. I shouldn't say that, really.
And one of the things that's very clear is, of course, there's a huge amount of misinformation.
Oh, there's a huge amount of misinformation. 99% of it came from him.
I've been back and looked through some of the videos that I took. So when I went out there, I took a lot of videos in relation to my investigation, but also
in relation to my investigation.
Thought processes of whilst that investigation was going on. And one of the interesting aspects of it is, as is always the case for every investigation, is you find information out and you look at that, and then a couple of days later that information changes.
So what he's doing, to me, what he's doing in this, he's like backtracking. So he says, oh, you find things out, you find information out, and then a couple of days later, that information changes. Well, then you shouldn't even release that information, should you? You know, if that information is not 100% official, guaranteed, you know, he's going off talking to people who supposedly knew Jay or whatever, or, you know, releasing all this misinformation. He was responsible for so much of the misinformation, wasn't he, that came out? And you know what? You can't take it back then, because once it's out there and people are talking about it, it's like it's let loose.
Or it's evidenced in some way. And it's quite interesting. Some of the information that came to me in the very early days wasn't accurate.
It wasn't accurate. Some of the information that came to him in the early days was not accurate. Now he tells us, but we knew anyway, didn't we? Well, I did anyway.
Wasn't correct, and they needed to validate. And I was in a unique position.
He's always in a unique position. Funny he wasn't in the recent Nicola Bulley documentary with his mate Peter, isn't it? Funny that, because I tell you, they've been completely, in my opinion, they are more or less discredited. And I think it would be hard for him to find his way back.
Because of course I had access to the family, had access to mobile phone records, I had access to friends.
Access to the family and access to mobile phone records. He only had the access that everybody else had, didn't he? It honestly really worries me. Now, it may be that it's going to come out that Jay's family will come out and say, no, he's right, he's a top bloke. Mark Williams Thomas is a top bloke. They didn't do that with the Nicola Bulley case, though, did they? But we'll see what happens. I feel like this is preparing the way for a documentary or something. You know, just something so fishy about this.
Friends. And in fact, all of the friends communicated with me. There wasn't a single friend who stepped away and didn't want to communicate. And they all had their...
So all the friends communicated with him. None of them didn't want to communicate with him.
Own story to tell, and obviously they all had concerns, some of them, because of what they were up to and their involvement, but they all participated.
He's still trying to make it out there's some sort of drugs baron thing, you know, because they were reluctant because of what they're involved in and what they're... Oh my God, just makes me so angry, this whole thing. I just awful. He's just sowing more sort of more doubt, more sort of insinuations about people without actually saying anything, you know. So he's saying it without really saying it, just insinuating it.
They all engaged with me, even to the point of the two males who went back with Jay to their apartment. You know, one of them was in real contact with me. I was talking to him. He was providing me a lot of information. The only person I didn't get to speak to was the other male that was with him. But everybody else that I needed to speak to, I did speak to. So where's this going? Well, I've spoken in the last few days to Debbie. She had a long conversation with me, very pleasant. We got on.
So he gets on really well with Debbie, apparently, according to him. We'll see what happens. He's spoken to her, really nice conversation. I get on really well with her. You know, well, I tell you, you know, if Debbie can't see through him, then that's not a good thing. Now, anyway, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not speculating. I'm just telling you what he says.
Done very well. There's no issue with that at all. And in fact, she really struggled during this period of time, and rightly so. You know, he's
such a patronising twonk, isn't he? But she really struggled during this time, and rightly so. You know, like he understands everything that everybody goes through, you know, when he's not really just trying to cash in on it. You know, I don't know. Who knows what conversation he did or didn't have with Debbie? We'll have to see. I think what either Debbie says or what Warren says. But there's just something about this guy, isn't there?
She's a mother who's lost a child, and not just that, but was in the eye of the media storm. This was an inquiry.
Yeah, so suddenly he's talking about the eye of the media storm. Well, that was the point of the Nicola Bulley documentary, wasn't it, supposedly? Why do I get the feeling here that this is like almost a response to that documentary, which he wasn't included in any way, shape or form, was he? You know, he wasn't, for once, he wasn't invited along to give his, you know, he likes to give his take on everything, doesn't he? On the other two documentaries that there have been, like The Missing, was it The Missing or Vanished with Dan Walker, and then the other one, the Channel 5 one, which was the disappearance that Great Britain. He was involved with both of those, wasn't he? And they were both, I've loaded those up. All the three Nicola Bulley documentaries now are on my Rumble channel. I loaded up on my Rumble channel. You can watch them there. There's no interruptions. It's just the, you know, I don't know how long they'll be there for. They may get taken down sooner or later. But I put them on the Rumble channel because it doesn't make any difference to me if they take them off Rumble. I didn't want to put them on YouTube. I didn't want to, you know, obviously get any copyright strikes or anything. But I feel like that's how it feels to me. This is some sort of response to that documentary. And bear in mind that Peter Folding recently, he put a post up saying he was filming a new crime documentary. Now, it can't be about Jay Slater, because Jay Slater, he wasn't involved in the Jay Slater case at all. But maybe he's been doing something with Mark. You just feel like there's something coming. I don't know, mark my words, there's something coming.
Case that hit the headlines, not just in the UK, but actually worldwide. People became fascinated, and it took on a life of its own. And as a result of that, lots of conspiracy.
Now he's going to talk about conspiracy theories, but he actually made most of those, and the only reason he got involved was because it had gone all over the world. He didn't get involved right from the word go. He won't be involved in like any other case until this is the whole purpose of doing it for him. It's for his kudos. He's not involved. He's not interested in little cases that don't attract worldwide attention. You know, he's only interested in worldwide cases.
Theories, lots of people with their own views in terms of what happened. But I had the uniqueness because I was literally in the heart of it, able to.
He's in a unique position because he was right at the heart of it. He was not at the heart of it. He faked a press conference. Oh, God. Anyway, never mind.
Establish information from different parties, collect that information, and then look to see what evidential value it had. I was very clear from day one that this looked like a tragic accident, but of course
he was clear. Was he? He was clear from day one, was he, that it looked like a tragic accident? I don't think he was, because didn't he say that he would go, when he appealed to the family, he said he would go there, he would solve it within 2 days. And then he was releasing all these insinuations about drugs and stolen watches and, oh, you name it, he was insinuating it. I don't actually, didn't we watch most of his videos? Do you remember him saying he thought it was an accident right from the beginning? Don't think he did.
I needed to investigate it, and I remained open-minded throughout the whole of that investigation, and was very clear that actually, whilst there were considerable issues that existed, and I haven't revealed the details of all those issues, and exactly, you know, kind of why Jay left in the manner he did, why he didn't want to return, you know, those things I've kept to myself at this present moment in time. And maybe when the time is right.
Oh, here we go. So he knows. Look. Oh, I can't bloody read. I don't know.
We'll reveal those.
Yeah, he said the reason why Jay went to the Airbnb, the reason why he left, I've kept it to myself, he says. Maybe I'll release it when the time's right. So basically, Mark's update on the Jay Slater cases, he'll tell you later. It's got no update. It's got no update, except there's a few things that he might tell you later. God, awful man.
I've got to be very careful. What I don't want to do is upset the family any more trauma than they've already had.
Doesn't want to upset the family. No, of course you don't. So you're just going to release a couple of little nuggets, just saying what he does know, but he can't possibly tell anybody.
And so it would be something that I would work very closely with Debbie and the family to reveal that information. And maybe the time will be right soon to be able to do that.
Oh, maybe the time will be right soon. How soon? So, God, awful.
But not right now. So I hope you
Not
respect
right
me in
now.
relation to that. I'll give you some more updates, not just in relation to the Jay Slater case.
Some more updates. That's not an update. That's not an update whatsoever. How is that even an update? That's just going over what you've already said, changing your mind about some things that you said, because you'd never, ever, I don't ever remember him saying that he thought it was a tragic accident. He said right from the beginning he was trying to insinuate it was organised crime of some kind or that. He never said it was he thought it was a tragic accident. Oh, God, the lies, the lies.
When that's ready, but also some of the other cases I'm dealing with. I've got a fascinating case.
Here's the crux of it. So he's got your attention talking about Jay Slater because everyone's interested in the Jay Slater case. But here's the crux of it. He's working on other cases. So he's trying to get his other cases out there. He's probably going to come out with something like the Yorkshire Ripper was innocent, like Oscar Pistorius was innocent. What's he going to come out with? Or somebody who's dead, how they were actually, a P or whatever, but they're dead, so they can't sue him. So he can say whatever he likes about him. These are the sort of things that Mark does. Has he, anyway, he's also listen to this fascinating case he's got.
I've tracked down a wanted individual in another country. And the question,
he's tracked down a wanted individual in another country. That's what he really wants to talk about. But he knows if he starts talking about that, nobody will watch it.
The question is now, can I get to that country and confront him? It's a dangerous country.
Can I get to that country and confront him? It's a dangerous country. Now, the other thing that I've got to say is, if you're trying to track down a dangerous individual, if I'd found out where some murderer was or whatever, and I wanted to go and surprise them, I wouldn't be going on Instagram to tell everybody about it. What are you coming on Instagram for? To tell everybody that you've tracked down a dangerous criminal in a dangerous country, and you're thinking of going over there to confront them. Talk about publicising. That's not really very wise, is it? Because maybe he has tracked down a dangerous individual. Just to let you know, my shopping's on its way. I've just had a text. So listen, definitely there will be a doorbell ring, a lot of dog barking, probably in about half an hour. So yeah, if you knew, if I knew a murderer was somewhere, you would not publicise it. And do you know what? The other thing is, you don't go off and confront them, really, do you? Contact the authorities and get them to arrest them. Stop meddling in cases, because he can interfere with that. So somebody who thinks maybe, Mark might be onto them, so they move from that country to another country, or, stop meddling in cases, that you shouldn't be doing that. You have no, he's not got any right to do that, more than me. It'd be like me saying, oh, I'm going off to South America, and publicising it. I'm going off to South America, there's a dangerous criminal there that I'm going to confront. No. First thing I do is contact the police. If I did find something out that was real, contact the police, let them go and confront him. That's their job. It's not my job to go and confront criminals, and it's not his job either. If you've got information, you go to the police, Mark.
And this present moment in time, the suggestion is it's too dangerous to go to. But he's wanted in the UK. I've tracked him down. I've found him. He was convicted in his absence. So I want to.
He's tracked him down. He's found him. He's convinced. Perhaps it's Lord Lucan. He's tracked him down. He's found him. He probably would go and confront him because he's probably about 90 by now. So yeah, you'd go and confront someone who he had. Well, it'd probably be Lord Lucan or someone like that. So how does he get away with this? Because surely this has got to be legal, what he's doing. Like, remember when we watched that interview with him where he was saying that he can put listening devices in Amazon packages, you know, and bug people's homes? He can't do that. He's not the police. He can't put tracking devices on people's cars and stuff that he was bragging about in the interview that he did with Lad Bible. Who does he think he is? And even if it, you know, how do you go? It'd be like me saying, oh yeah, I've put a tracking device on my neighbour's car, or I think this person around the corner is a murderer, so I've waylaid the Amazon guy and I've put in a listening device in their package. Can't do that. What's he talking about? So now he's tracked down some dangerous guy in a dangerous country. He's tracked him down. Don't forget. He doesn't think he should tell the authorities. He thinks he should go and confront him himself.
To go and confront him and actually put that out there in the world so everybody knows what this guy is about. You never know. It may force the authorities there to get him to come back, or at least, at the very least.
So he might force the authorities there to get him to come back. So forget, you know, our own authorities that do liaise with other people's authorities, whether, you know, we're part of Europe anymore or not, or whether it's a country that doesn't have an extradition treaty. We don't have an extradition treaty with Pakistan, but they still went round knocking everyone's doors in that was connected with the Sharif family when the Sharifs went off there, leaving poor little Sarah deceased in her own bedroom. We might not have an extradition exchange with Pakistan, but we had enough liaison between the two authorities that the Pakistan authorities made it so difficult for the Sharif family that they had to come back because there was nothing that, you know, they couldn't be there anymore. Their family were getting singled out, everyone, you know, and that's because the authorities did it. Now, not Mark. Mark can't go and, you know, knock someone's door down and make it difficult for everyone who's sheltering someone. Who does he think he is? So honestly, it just totally amazes me. It
will show that the authorities, you know, are separate to them but haven't given up. And for the victims out there, it also shows that they haven't been forgotten. Anyway, more on that. I'll give you a specific update just in relation to that. But until then, enjoy your day and look after yourself.
There you go. So what do we think about that? So that was the first thing I wanted to show you. Hi, Quizzical. Hi, Bertan. Hi, Julie. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Heather. Yeah, he's a legend in his own lifetime. Hi, Daniel. Hi, anybody I might have missed coming in. I like to try and say hello. If I did miss you, sorry. Hi, Walker. So there you go. That's the first thing I wanted to tell you about. That's one twonk. So we're going from one twonk to another. We're going to look at Stephan Stearns. Now, I haven't, you know, I got a bit sort of, I haven't spoken about Stephan, and really I've spoken about Stephan. It's not really him that's important. The person who's important, of course, is Maddie. And, you know, I did quite a lot. I've still got this massive load of evidence to sift through. I haven't been through all of it yet. I just sort of got to a point, you know, It's such an awful story, this, isn't it? Poor Madeleine, what she had to go through. And, you know, the more you hear about it, the worse it gets. I think when that comes to trial, that will be, you know, it'd be hard. It'd be a hard trial, but we all want to see Stephan get his just desserts, don't we? At the end of the day, Stephan Stearns, nasty, horrible man. Look at this picture of him. Oh, look, like butter wouldn't melt. The little puppy. And all the time, what was going on lurking in his mind. You know, you just never know with people, do you? Anyway, that was obviously, I'd say that was probably a couple of years ago, because he didn't look like that when he got arrested, did he? So he's appeared in court. He's actually appeared as well, because he's the past couple of sort of court dates, if you like, he hasn't shown up in court, but he did this time. So let's have a look. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is Madeleine Soto, who was abused by Stephan Stearns for, well, at least 5 years, it seems. She disappeared, didn't she? And then her body, unfortunately, was found later, a few days later. And by then, they already knew that her sort of stepfather, or apparently she called him dad. His parents said she called him dad. He'd had a relationship with her mum, Jen Soto, and it turns out that all those years he was actually abusing Madeleine from probably the age of 8 or 9. And Madeleine was 13 the day before. It was her 13th birthday party, the day before she disappeared. This picture up here is from her birthday party on that day, 13 years old. Then the next day she completely disappeared and was found deceased. And before her body was even found, the police had already taken Stephan Stearns' telephone off him and found hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of images of Madeleine. And I think they found other images of other children that will come out in the trial, I expect. We don't know the exact details of what they found on the telephone, but there were pictures, videos, you know, it was pretty awful. So that was before they even found Madeleine's body. So they'd already charged him, I think, with 62 counts of sexual battery before they found Madeleine. And then it took quite a long time to charge him with MURDR. He's been charged now with the murder of Madeleine. And those two cases, now we do have dates for when he's going to go to court for his trial. So let's have a look. Where are we going? Here we are. So we've got two separate dates. We've got one date for the sexual battery and one date for the murder trial.
All right, we've hit the pause button to bring you some breaking news in the case of the man accused of murdering 13-year-old Madeleine Soto. Dates have now been set for both of Stephan Stearns' trials. A jury trial is set in the sex abuse charges against Stearns for February 24th, 2025.
And the trial for the murder charges.
So February 24th, 2025. So still, you know, quite a way off. That's his trial for the videos, etc., that he had on his phone. So the sex crimes trial is scheduled for the February the 24th, 2025.
Against Stearns is set for September 22, 2025. Stearns is accused.
And then so much, gosh, it's nearly a year away. So after the sexual battery charges, he'll be facing so that'll be the February, but he won't be facing the murder charges, the murder trial, until September the 22nd next year. So quite a long time. I mean, he's never coming out of prison, whatever. And that's good, but that's quite difficult, I think, for Madeline's family, etc., to know that they've got to wait all that time. They probably just want to, I mean, I don't know what you'd want. You'd want him to stand trial, you'd want him to get his punishment, and you would want it quickly, really, wouldn't you? It seems a shame that they've got to wait all that time, doesn't it, really? But anyway, he's never coming out of prison. How he'll plead, God only knows. He can't possibly. The evidence that they've got, surely he cannot possibly plead guilty. Surely not. But of course, there's some talk about, because when his parents were talking, he was run over by a lorry, wasn't he, when he was a child? And he received severe head injuries. Is he going to try and use that? Is he going to use mental health? I mean, 62 charges. How's he going to, he can't. To me, he's got, if he's got any sense, or if his lawyer, I mean, I don't know much about the law. I wish I had been a lawyer, actually. I would have quite liked to have been a prosecution lawyer, not a defense lawyer. Surely he's going to say to him, look, just come clean, just because he's not going to get found not guilty. I can't see it in a million. There's too much evidence. It's not circumstantial evidence. It's not, dodgy evidence, witness evidence that, can be sort of torn to pieces. There's so much proper evidence that cannot be refuted. So, how's he going to plead? He's got to plead guilty, surely. If he wants to avoid, because don't forget, we're in a death penalty state. They're going to pursue the death penalty. That's the only thing, really. And they've got Madeline's body, they've got all the evidence, they've got the photos, they've got the videos. So he has got nothing to plead with, to bargain with. Sometimes murderers can bargain by giving up where the body is, or, I don't know, giving some details. But the police don't need him to. They don't need to give him a plea bargain. The only reason he's going to get a plea bargain of any kind, like avoid the death penalty maybe, is if he pleads guilty and just, comes clean with whatever happened. But it's a long time. It's a long time waiting for Madeline's family to find out exactly what happened.
Accused of sexually abusing his girlfriend Jen Soto's daughter for several years. Police discovered thousands of images on his cell phone, allegedly sexually abusing Madeline. Stearns is also accused of murdering Madeline and disposing of her body in a wooded area in Osceola County, Florida.
So let's have a look at the photo of him in court. So, as I say, he did actually turn up at court this time. He's had a trim up, his beard. I wonder if he's had a trim up down below. He could do with it. I'll tell you, after I had to look at his bloody nether regions. Stephan Stearns in court. There's a photo doing the rounds. There it is. So here's a photo of him in court. This is the Osceola County News Gazette. He made his first ever court appearance on Monday, and of course the court dates were set. So yeah, looks like he's lost a little bit of weight. His beard, he does look all trimmed up. His hair's been cut, etc. As I say, I don't know how far that trimming up has gone. So yeah, for the first time, Stephan Stearns. Are you all right, darling? The man prosecutors have charged with sexually assaulting and murdering 13-year-old Madeleine Soto made an in-person court appearance. So that's the first time he's been dragged to court. Stearns, with a neatly trimmed beard and haircut, did not speak during his brief appearance at Monday's status hearing for his trials. He entered the courtroom shortly before the 10-minute hearing and was led out immediately after it concluded. Aside from the murder, the state has charged him with 60 counts of sexual battery, lewd and lascivious molestation, and possession of child sex abuse material, charges filed by the state attorney's office after searching his phone and Google Drive after Madeleine was reported missing back on February the 26th. So by the time he has his first trial, if it doesn't get delayed, it'll have been about a year since it all happened. And the state attorney has filed to seek the death penalty against Stearns, who remains in the Osceola County Jail. It appears that these are wheels of justice moving slowly. Assistant State Attorney Danielle Pinnell noted no depositions have been done or been scheduled amongst the many witnesses in what are now separate cases. She said the murder case has many more witnesses. Gosh, that's interesting, isn't it? The murder case has many more witnesses. Public defender Beth Borden, surrounded by the defense team of 3 other attorneys, told Judge Keith Carston she's currently on another death. Hang on, I did warn you. Hang on. Momento. Right, one more sec. Right, come on. Come on. Hola. Solo hoy. Estás solo.
Sí,
Vale, sí, por ahí. So sorry about this, but I've got to keep my hand on the door handle of the bathroom so that Princess Tia can't get out. So he's just bringing all the stuff in now. I'll be back with you in a moment. Yeah, he's not the quickest. Sorry about this. Okay.
Ho detto todo. Tiene una sostituzione che sono los huevos de gallina.
Ah, vale, pero han traído otros huevos.
Sí, sí, otro. Muchas gracias, señora.
Vale, puedes... gracias. Thank you. Vale,
Gracias.
hasta otro día. Sí. There you go, there you go. We've got food. We've got food here. Okay, I'm back. I'm back in the room. So what will happen now? So the dog will be going through all the carrier bags. And so will my son. Everyone's going through the carrier bags. Nothing exciting in there, really. But at least we've got food. We've got food. Oh, hang on. I've got to bring the blind down again. Nothing exciting in there. The basics. I don't know. Who is? Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, vamos a ver. So let me put my picture back. Hola, I'm back. Are you all still there? Exactly, Julie. I have to keep my hand on the bathroom door just in case. I mean, she's normally okay with people, to be fair. But of course, as he's bringing all the stuff in, the door's open, so we don't want her escaping. Yeah, she's having a good look through all, good rummage. Yeah, you've got some bits that she has got some treats. Can you hear her? Hey, she's literally rummaging through all the bags. So I have got some wine in there. I've got a little bit of whiskey in there. I've got no chocolate though. I need to buy some chocolate. Yeah, I forgot chocolate. Okay, so. Oh, Julie. Oh, Julie's neighbour looks just like Stephan Stearns. Oh, that's creepy, isn't it? But of course, he's a nice man, though. He's a nice man. He's a nice man. Actually, and while I'm on here, I'm going to put my banner up because I don't think I said my thank yous or anything. Just want to say thank you to all. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Special thanks to members and, of course, people who gift memberships. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who sends me Ko-fis or PayPals me or sends me emails, etc. Thank you for supporting my channel in any way, shape or form. But don't forget to like. Don't forget to like. Okay. Yeah, let's put that one up, actually. Don't forget to leave your fingerprint on the like button. So let's go back. So I've lost my thread now. Oh, yeah. So public defender Beth Borden, surrounded by a defence team of 3 other attorneys, told, so this must be his defender, told Judge Keith Carston she's currently on another death penalty case and has 2 others on her docket. She asks that the case should be scheduled for 2027. Oh, my God. Oh, no, that's just not fair, is it? That's 3 years. It's bad enough that they've all got to wait so long. And Carsten said it would test the bounds of what is reasonable. Get out of those bags. Hey, 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 Tia. No. Carsten then set new pre-trial hearings for Stearns' cases, noting the case with the 60 counts has fewer hurdles standing in the way. He tentatively scheduled the case for a pre-trial hearing on Wednesday, February the 12th, and for a trial docket of February the 24th to March the 14th. He set a pre-trial hearing with discovery and deposition, update deadlines of September the 10th, 2025, and a trial period to start September 22. So there he is. There he is. Oh my God. Can you put the chicken in the freezer, please? So yeah, that's Stephan Stearns in court. So something's happening, even though it's happening very, very slowly, isn't it? Which is a shame, I think. No, justice doesn't happen quickly, does it? Unfortunately. It really doesn't, does it? Now my phone's ringing. Everything always goes mad when I'm in a live. Where am I? So, hi Wesley. Hi ACW. So that's what I wanted to tell you about Stephan Stearns. I'm just going to finish off now telling you a little bit. What time are we on? I've got a little bit of time. I'm just going to finish off telling you about, telling you about Sebastian Rogers. Now, there's not much news, no news really about Sebastian himself. God bless him. He hasn't turned up in any way, shape or form. All these arguments are still going on between Seth, his biological father, Phony Tony. I can't believe that Seth and Tony are still, in lockstep. And who's the other one? Oh, Bullshit Betty. She went to court and she has been told she cannot anymore, she's been given restraining orders and she's been told they've been enforced. She's still doing videos, or she certainly was last week. I think about an hour after she came out of court, she was on doing a video. I don't really understand why. I mean, maybe she does really believe, that Chris and Katie Proudfoot are responsible for Sebastian's disappearance, but there is no evidence. There is no evidence. And to be honest, I just think it just seems cruel, really, because, at the end of the day, if there's no evidence and that what has happened is Katie has lost her son for whatever reason, the general consensus, I think, by the police at the moment is that he ran away for whatever reason. Maybe you might think Katie made him run away, but do you really think that Katie did something to him? Personally, I don't. I don't think that Katie had anything to do with him disappearing in in a foul play way. Maybe they had an argument. Maybe he ran off. Maybe she's not telling the whole truth. I don't know. But for some YouTuber to go like making all these videos accusing them, I think it's terrible. And Seth is still accusing everybody of everything. So let's have a look at what he had to say, which was actually, they were on Court TV. God. Oh my God. Right, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm. Oh God. Anyway. God, I just a moment. Hey. Oh, come on. Let's try again. Okay. So that was the guy coming back with a clothes error that he thought was for me. And actually, I do need one. I should have just said, yeah, that's mine. But anyway, it's not. I didn't order that, so he's gone now. Oh, my God. Just like chaos. Hi, Popeye. Popeye, my email address is Vicky Marie Chats, Vicky with an I. Vicky Marie Chats at, I can't do an at on this computer, at gmail.com. I know I've never had so many men at my door for years. Has been known. Right, shall we try again? I've forgotten even where. Oh, that's right. I was looking for Seth Rogers. April the 4th. No, it was recent. I'm looking for the recent one. Okay, let's just have a look at this then. Sorry, my head's just gone completely nostril spin. It's every time, it doesn't matter what time I do a live, it's always chaos. So let's have a look at
mother's home in Tennessee back in February. Sebastian, who has autism, disappeared overnight, leaving his shoes behind. The search has gone national, with some YouTubers getting involved, including Andra Griffin, aka Bullhorn Betty. In July, Sebastian's mother, Katie Proudfoot, filed a protection order against Bullhorn Betty, accusing her of harassment. The following month, Bullhorn Betty was arrested for violating the restraining order. Yesterday, the judge granted a new protection order against Andra Griffin. Both Griffin and Sebastian's stepfather, Christopher Proudfoot, spoke during that hearing. Take a listen to some of their testimony.
After being arrested, you still saw fit to continue your advocacy with a voices meeting, yes?
Sebastian matters to me a lot.
How much?
So she's saying Sebastian matters to me a lot. She didn't even know who Sebastian was before he went missing. She's not a relative of his. She's not a friend of, she knew nothing about Sebastian. And she's harassing Sebastian's mother and Sebastian's stepdad. And whether you think Chris Proudfoot Proudfoot is a nice person or is not a nice person, or whether you think Katie's a good mother or we don't even know them. And, you know, at the end of the day, this is a mother who's lost her son. And unless you believe she did something to him, which I personally don't think in a million years she did anything to him, because I think if the police had some evidence of that, she'd be under arrest. I just don't believe it. And anyway, it's nothing to do with her. She's a nutter. Honestly, how dare she? You imagine if that was your loved one that went missing, and you've got a YouTuber who doesn't even know him saying, oh, Sebastian means a lot to me. If Sebastian meant anything to her, she would just be quiet and stop dragging this case down into some sort of circus that's all about her and her YouTube channel and Seth. And, you know, it's nothing to do with them. It's to do with Seth because he's the father. But even so, he's not more important than Sebastian. Seems like everybody's forgotten that Sebastian's the one that's missing. He's the one that's important. And the person he's most important to is his mother, his stepfather, and his father. You know, and whatever other family. Nothing to do with this loop-the-loop. Honestly, it does make me angry, this, because it also gives YouTubers in general a bad name when you get a loop-de-loop like this.
I'd like to find the answers. I'd like to bring him home, and I'd like to bring him home safely. And I hope the application that we do, along with other people like me, help.
I want to bring him home, and I want to bring him home safely, and I hope what I do will help. What a load of rubbish. All she hopes is she gets a few more views on her YouTube channel.
Aid in that effort.
When did you first come to Sumner County, Tennessee about the Sebastian Rollins case?
I think I arrived here, it was June 22nd, but it was in the evening, so it was just basically checking into a hotel and, you know, resting because it was a long drive.
Okay. Then what did you do?
One of the
She's just loving every minute of it, isn't she? Just a bit of attention. Some people, when they're a bit fruit the loop, any attention is better than no attention. Even bad attention is better than no attention. That's what she is to me. I think it's terrible what she's doing. Even if it does end up turning up that Katie and Chris did anything to Sebastian, which I say, don't think for a minute. It's nothing to do with her. It's nothing to do with her to this extent. And, you know, YouTubers do get a bad name because I know, like, people see, even when you're reporting on true crime and stuff like that, sometimes people do think, I don't know, that you're cashing in on tragedy or whatever. But, you know, sometimes you're just interested in true crime. You want to tell these stories. People are interested in it. You want to tell, for me, most of the time, it's the victim. You know, I don't do report on a case just because it's in the news. You know, I've done unsolved cases, people who get forgotten about, you know, who are missing or their killers haven't been caught. This is important, but still, you know, I'm not going to go and harass the family and camp out outside their door. It's a bit what she's doing, really, is a little bit like what Mark Williams Thomas is doing, but he's doing it he's a private investigator, he's not a YouTuber, but he's exactly the same as this woman, just doing it for attention, doing it for his own purposes, doesn't care about the family at all. He didn't even turn up for the second day of the inquest for Nicola Bulley, you know, once it wasn't going to be sensational or whatever. You know, these people, they don't care, and they give other YouTubers a bad name.
main key factors of this case is that the child disappeared between midnight and 6 a.m. So one of the first things I wanted to do was preview the area at night to see what it looked like. I've never been here. I know nothing about this area. I know nothing about how dark it is outside or what certain lights are where. And the only way you can get that information is previewing it at the time of night that it allegedly happened. And as as being a investigative reporter, I do look into those. I look into factual information and whether things hold water or can be disproved.
Oh, so now she's an investigative reporter. I mean, what was she even before the Sebastian Rogers case? What videos was she doing before Sebastian Rogers? Who was she talking about then? Let's have a look. What about, was she an investigative reporter? I don't think I'd describe her as that. Yeah, she describes herself as, so she's got 36.8 thousand followers. She describes herself as a victim rights activist, advocate, social media influencer. We cover cases and help in the search of those missing and or presumed dead. So who did you, so she's talked about, it looks like she's talked about Summer Wells, Harmony Montgomery, that was quite recent, wasn't it? Alex Murder, Quinton Simon, that's very recently. Gabby Petito. Let's see how long she's had her channel for. Dear me, just awful, I think. Honestly awful. I can't see how long she's had her channel for. Yeah, so you're talking about, you know, previously, now she's getting thousands of views, but of course, previously, she was just getting hundreds of views or maybe 1,000. It's all about Sebastian Rogers. She's just living off this Sebastian Rogers case. She's not really covering any other cases at the moment. So, you know, it's all, she's just, you know, causing trouble to make a YouTube channel better.
So what did you do?
I got up, I took a stroll, and of course I have a dash cam in my car, so I just click it, and I basically.
Well, let me ask you this, where were you staying?
She's in the middle of answering your question.
Pardon?
Let her finish.
Pardon?
Sure, so I was staying in Goodlettsville
Go
at a
ahead.
hotel.
Go ahead.
And so I was just, I have a dash cam, and so all I pretty much did is, I think it was less than 20 minutes, 25 minutes from the time I left my hotel to the time I got back. And I just drove through and got a nighttime view and looked at everything that we saw on the news, you know, just to get a land. A lot of people allegations related to the video that was seen, and I wanted to see what the shadows meant, where the lights were, you know, just a lay of the land, so to speak.
Please be very certain with your answer. Have you ever intentionally communicated to Christopher Proudfoot?
I do believe I did respond to him at some point in this.
You responded to this text?
Yes, sir.
How did you respond?
There was also some threats of violence toward me from a content creator named Ricky Don Smith. And I had asked him, this is a person he's been on our channel with multiple times, and I asked him if he could please stop her from threatening me.
Stop who from threatening?
Ricky Don Smith.
What are you afraid of from Andrew Griffin? What am I doing?
So here's Chris now appearing. So he's, you know, both he and Katie have been forced to go to court to ask for an order of protection when their son is missing. I just think it's terrible. Anyway, is it just me?
Directly afraid of, sir? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Well, when you make a video threatening that you want to bring a gun from another state to this state, directly in videos related to me, my wife, my family, that's a threat, plain and simple.
Okay.
She also said she was going to bring a machete, for the record.
She's an absolute nutcase. I'm sorry. So she said she was going to take a gun. She said she was going to take a machete. She said it all on her video. What the hell? Anyway, I don't blame them for taking her to court.
No, sir. No, sir.
Would you agree that what's seen and heard is unheard?
I'm not an expert to make it.
Do you believe everything on the internet to be
Possibly. Maybe.
further, Your Honor?
Questions? Yes, Your Honor. That Ms. Griffin never directly called you.
Now, can I just say, where it says across the bottom there, the reward for finding Sebastian is now 100,000. It's actually 125,000 now. Dog the Bounty Hunter announced that on his Twitter. The reward for finding Sebastian is now $125,000. Now, remember in the beginning, it was nothing. Oh, God, my bloody phone's talking to me now. No, in the beginning, there was no reward. Now, then it went to 50,000, then it was 75, then it was 100,000. Now it's $125,000 reward. And Dog the Bounty Hunter seems to have joined up with Nick the Hat, another YouTuber, and they seem to be on the Seth side, aren't they? Rather than the Chris and Katie side. You know, there's like two sides. So it's so horrible, the whole thing, to be honest.
Texted you, correct? Besides exchange receipts.
Hasn't contacted me other than via
Contacted you based off of
hundreds.
Is it possible to avoid the media circus that surrounds Ms. Griffin's conduct?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Personal phone number that way?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you have any other social media accounts?
Have account, sir.
Okay. But is there contact?
Yes, sir.
To be following, updating you on the latest developments throughout the day right here on Court TV.
So,
Turning now to 10.
Also in the courtroom was Seth. I can't find it. He did do an interview afterwards, but I can't seem to find it. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Jenny. Well, you know what? You try and be fair because, you know, there's two sides to every story. Sometimes you have your thoughts about maybe what's happened in a case. It's, you know, it's much easier with things like Stephan Stearns, where you know he's a twonk and you know what he's done, and you know that. But there are other cases, like for example, how I feel about Jen. I don't feel like Jen really did know anything, but anyway, other people do. That's fine, but you know, still, you wouldn't go to Jen's house and start harassing her, and you know, because there is no evidence. The police haven't charged you. You've got to wait till people are found guilty before you pronounce that they're guilty. Now, I know Stephan Stearns hasn't been found guilty, but let's face it, he is guilty. That's a whole nother thing, isn't it? But, you know, in cases like Sebastian's, I just don't feel it that Chris and Katie never have from word go that they will actually know what's happened to him, you know, that they did anything to him. That's not how I feel. But then, you know, tomorrow some evidence might come out that they did. Same with Jen Soto. Jen Soto might be arrested tomorrow and it turns out she did know. Well, that's different. But okay, now where am I? I'm trying to find, let's try this. This is another news thing about Bullhorn Betty, but I'm looking for the interview with Seth, but I'm struggling to find it on a news channel. Don't start barking. Now the Chihuahua's out.
A legal battle against a YouTuber who's covering the case. It all started when 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers disappeared back on February 26th.
Now, the ironic thing is, didn't he disappear on the same day that Madeleine Soto went missing? So on that February the 26th, Sebastian, of course, it's in Tennessee. Is it Tennessee where he is? Or nearby, isn't it Clarksville or Hendersonville? Whereas Madeleine was in Florida. But they both went missing on the same day, didn't they? 26th, 27th.
6th. A month later, true crime social media influencer Bullhorn Betty began posting videos about the case. In July, Sebastian's mother filed an order of protection against her. The following month, Betty, whose real name is Andra Griffin, was arrested for violating that order. All of that brings us to today. This is Caitlin Quisenberry has more on what was discussed in court and the judge's final ruling on a protection of order for Christopher Proudfoot. Caitlin.
The last time these two parties were in court was in September for 3 different order of protections against the YouTuber Andrew Griffin. And today, the judge added Sebastian's stepfather to the growing list of people worried for their safety. The nearly 4-hour hearing started with the reminder of First Amendment rights. Griffin said multiple times on the stand that she never directly contacted Christopher, nor had ever met him.
Yeah, so she keeps referring, everyone keeps this freedom of speech now. We're all for freedom of speech. But I don't think, accusing somebody of murder when there's no evidence, or stalking someone, or threatening to take a machete or a gun or whatever, is that freedom of speech? Where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line?
She did, however, state that she would visit his neighborhood to allegedly get a better understanding of the layout and put up flyers of missing Sebastian Rogers. And at one point, she also admitted to going to Christopher's place of work. Christopher also sat on the stand and claimed he felt unsafe.
Look at Seth. So Seth went along there with Betty. They're big pals, aren't they? Look at his hair. Oh, dear God. Turning this poor boy that's gone missing, it's turning into just all about them. So, this bullshit Betty, she never even knew Sebastian before he went missing. She's not like a friend of the family that goes back years, and she's just it's horrible, actually, horrible.
With Griffin broadcasting his personal life and private life. The defense aired a 9-minute video showing clips from Griffin's YouTube channel, where she insinuates Christopher knows how to hide a body and may have had something to do with Sebastian's disappearance. To be clear, law enforcement has not said there's any proof of foul play in the case. Seth Rogers, the biological father of Sebastian and an advocate for Griffin, says the judge's decision to rule in favor of the protection order hinders the search for his son.
What I heard today is that you're not allowed to have free speech.
So you're not allowed to have free speech. So you're not allowed to go around accusing people of murder when, as far as, when you've got absolutely nothing to back it up. What has he done with his hair? Sorry, I'm sorry to be distracted, but what?
You're not allowed to sit there and ask questions, as somebody would say, the hard questions, and get an answer.
You're always allowed to ask questions, but you're not. Then when that person turns around and says, no, I didn't kill my son, then you've got no evidence backed up from the police or whatever, you're not allowed to just keep saying, yeah, you did, and I'm going to bring a machete, and I'm going to bring a gun, and I'm going to do this, that, or the other.
Those are 4 scared cowards, in my opinion. And if they're going to try to take away one of my voices, they're going to have to get ready for my voice.
So, there you go. There goes Seth threatening everybody again. He's been threatening right from the beginning, hasn't he? All he's ever done is threaten. Let's listen to that again.
4 scared cowards, in my opinion. And if they're going to try to take away one of my voices, they're going to have to get ready for my voice.
I think Seth's a very aggressive person, and I've read the divorce papers and everything. He's a very aggressive person. He's still in love with Kate. He's never got over them splitting up. He's just throwing accusations. That's all he's done all the time. Throwing around accusations. And then he gets angry, doesn't he? He gets angry and aggressive when he doesn't get his own way.
I spoke with Christopher after the hearing ended. He did not want to go on camera, but did say that he hopes the focus remains on the search for Sebastian Rogers. And Griffin will be back in court on November 20th for 6 counts of a violation of protection orders. In Gallatin, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
God, she's already violated this new one. You know, she's just like, just ridiculous, isn't it? Ridiculous to you. Yeah, if only we were all more like dogs. Yeah. So free speech. So free speech to turn around and say whatever you like. Apparently, accuse someone of murder, even though there's no evidence. Hi, Chumba. And as you say, there you go, Sebastian. Let's remember Sebastian. When they're not hardly, in fact, they're hardly even mentioning Sebastian. You know, Sebastian's the one who's gone missing. He's probably run away and come to, you know, some either had an accident or some foul place befallen him, and he's just got lost. And look, this is the here's the Golden Girls, or the what can we call the Three Musketeers: Phony Tony, Bullshit Betty, and Deputy Dog. Sorry, just like, you know what, I've got the one thing. Whatever you think about Katie and Chris, they have actually never slagged off Seth. All the horrible things that Seth has said about them, they've never come out. I think they feel sorry for Seth, you know, because he's obviously got some issues. That to me is like three psychos. They all look like psychos. Sorry. You know, remember Sebastian? Tony was supposed to come in and be the voice of reason. He's stirred it up even more. And now we've got Dog the Bounty Hunter and Nick the Hat as well. Oh my God. Okay. So I wanted to update you on all those three things, on the Jay Slater update that's not an actual update from Mark Williams Thomas. What else have we looked at? Oh yeah, Stephan Stern's court appearance, and we've had a little catch up with poor Sebastian, and prayers for Sebastian. Okay, I'm going to have my lunch. Remember to live and love carefully and wisely. Take care of yourselves until I see you again. May your God always, always, always go with you. Bye.